Well, good morning, everybody. It's 9 o'clock in Ohio, and the sun is out, but I don't know how warm it's going to be today. I wanted to do a little chat, nothing big. Video hopefully won't be as long as the other one. That was 32 minutes long, for gosh sakes. I knew I could babble, but I didn't think I could babble that much. I don't know how well you're seeing all this, but I wanted to show you at least some of what I have accomplished. I've got a lot of it covered, so we'll see what we can see. I'll slide it over, and I'm hoping you're getting a peek. I'm gonna stand up this. All right, camera, quit flashing me. Let's see. I've only gotten, down here by his hat and parts of the candle. And I'm headed down to this candle. And then as I go across, I'll be coming to his eyes. I can't wait to get there. I've rolled up the top half, and I can't believe if you can see this shimmer. I don't know if there's too much light or not enough. I don't know if you can see all that. But all of this down the side, down here, is 141 AB all the way up and across the top and down the other side about the same length. That's a lot of ABs. I mean, it's shiny, but that's a lot of ABs. So I thought I'd go ahead and do a little diamond painting and maybe talk to y'all for a little bit. I don't know if I can do this because what I'm used to is concentrating on the diamond painting and not talking at the same time, which is strange. Hard to do, hard to talk and diamond paint at the same time, at least for me, because I get so involved in it that I don't think about anything else. But Lazy Retired Granny always talks about her coffee. I have my coffee, if you can see it, in a red copper tumbler. And yeah, it looks like it's a big one, but it covers just a little bigger than a larger mug. And I always have my hazelnut creamer. It's the only sugar I really get. I already had my breakfast of cottage cheese and a slice of toast with peanut butter. Protein, protein. And not sure what I'll have for lunch. I usually do have a salad, but I'm not sure what I'll have. So I see Lazy Retired Granny, you got your painting. And I don't know if you saw my comment, but I don't have that one. But I do have Seize the Day. And I just think it's kind of ironic, or whatever you call it, anticipation of the day, or day, and mine says seize the day. So we anticipate the next day, and then we just seize it. So they kind of go together, don't they? Crafting with V, I watched your vid this morning, and you are really moving along there with someone who works and doesn't maybe seem to have a lot of hours to diamond paint. You're really moving that along. And of course, it is beautiful, isn't it? Uh, make a video whenever you can. We're all understanding on that part of having a job and, burning the candle at both ends and wanting to enjoy our craft or our hobbies. Let's see. I guess what I can do is, maybe tell you just a little story. It could bore you, it could not. Let's see. I graduated in 1969 and I got married in 1970. Maybe I should not have gotten married so young because I had just turned 18. So it didn't last a long time, about 5 years. And after I was divorced and I had the house that my ex had bought, and I still had to make the payments, I had to find something. I had to find some kind of job to be able to stay there, to keep the house. So the only thing I could find that paid a little better than either a waitress or working at fast food was work at a gas station. And back then they were full serve. For all you that go out there and serve yourself at the gas stations, you don't know what a full serve was if you're young. A full serve, you did everything. You washed the windows, you checked the oil. If they asked you to check the radiator fluid, sometimes tire pressure, and then you pumped the gas too. So it was full serve, even in the 70s. So I worked there as an assistant manager. Didn't make too bad money, but it wasn't a career. It wasn't, what? They're going to make me a manager of a gas station? I had enough responsibility as a manager. So, turned around and somebody said something about going to a trade type school. I guess that's what they called it. It was a government program. They paid you to go. And I think I had mechanical skills because when I grew up, I loved being around cars. My dad had a 57 Chevy that I fell in love with. So I took the test, and it turned out I had good mechanical skills. So I applied to auto mechanic school. My idea was I liked working on exhaust and brakes because and changing oils, those were the basics that I figured I could handle and that I liked. So I applied, got in, and in 1976 I started auto mechanic school. I was the only girl. Got teased a lot. But they didn't make fun of me when I could sit inside of an engine compartment under the hood and not have to bust my back like they did leaning over it. And I could do remove and repairs right from sitting there. They thought it was funny, but I was able to do it. I showed him I could work on brakes, I could remove exhaust, I could do the repairs just like the rest of them. I helped remove transmissions out of cars, changed tires, tore engines apart, and at the same time you had to take tests. You know, you had to pass a course written of what you learned, and they didn't pay you too bad every week. Well, it was an 18-month course. At that time, if you graduated, you got your certificate, and you should be able to go anywhere and get a job because you were qualified. A few years later, though, the way it was for qualifications to get a job as an auto mechanic, you had to specify, you had to specialize in a specific area, because if you didn't, you couldn't get the job, and you had to take a certification test, like if you were just going to work on transmissions, or you were just going to work on engines, or you had to be a certified auto mechanic. You couldn't just be an auto mechanic working on whatever. So at about the 16th or 17th month of being there at the auto school, I was told, hey, everybody goes out and starts applying for a job. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll do that. I went to JCPenney, and they said they didn't have any openings, or I could fill out an application if I wanted to. I went through Sears. They had no openings. And I thought, since I like brakes and exhaust, why not go to Midas? And so I went to Midas, and I asked about any job openings. And the guy kind of looked at me really funny, and I said, well, I should have my certificate in about another month of graduation, and it proves that I know how to do the job. I even had my own tools. And he said, I'm sorry. And I said, sorry about what? And he said, I'm sorry. He says, we can't hire you. And I said, why not? The school is accredited. It's a legal government job, government school. He said, no, it's not that. He said, we can't hire you. You're a woman. Now, you young girls, I don't know how your workforce is now. I don't know the ins and out of that type of thing, being told you can't get this and can't get that. I do know that women are still not paid what they should be paid. That I do know. But back then, they would tell you right to your face. It wasn't an under the table thing. And I said, you can't do that. I said, the government passed that law or whatever it was, I can't even remember it now, that you can't not hire me just because I'm a woman. I said, that's against the law. And I wish I would have had the sense to somehow record him or have witnesses or whatever it was. Because he said, fine. He says, we'll hire you. He said, and then a few days later, he said, we'll fire you for a different reason. He says, then we're not breaking the law. That was a shock. I didn't figure somebody would say it right to my face like that. So I went back to the school, told them, and I never finished the schooling. I could work on cars, I could work on my own, but I sure couldn't get a job doing it. The job I ended up getting was working in a hotel cleaning rooms. It didn't pay bad, but it wasn't one of your naturally better jobs and a career. So what everybody thinks of now as, rough on the job and things, yeah, I'm sure it still is. But being told they're not going to hire you because of who or what you are, I'm sure it's still happening. I know it is. But it was rough then. And that was in the 70s. I mean, I know it's gotten better. It has. But you still have to fight for what you want. And sometimes what you want, isn't always what you need. So you manage to do what you can do, and sometimes you just get by. Getting by is not a bad thing. You don't have to have, a big career. And it's not called settling for something. It's whatever you accomplish in life, be proud of it. It means something to somebody, somewhere. You may not see it today, you may not see it tomorrow, but it's possible. It's possible to do one thing in your life that maybe nobody notices until one day they're thinking about something, and that kindness or that little thing you might have done years back comes into their mind, and it happens. And it all happens for a reason. I can remember back in the 60s with all the hippies and what they called Jesus freaks and, weirdos, whatever. And there were things that were said back then that, hell, I didn't think were important. I figured that was just them being goofy or, just chattering away. But then those kind of things, when you start thinking about what you want to do, you're in a situation, and then all of a sudden that memory will pop right back in your head of, hey, so-and-so said this. I wonder, and it makes an impact. It definitely makes an impact. I'm sorry for getting maybe maudlin a little bit, but that's, that's the way things go sometimes. And it has nothing to do with old age. It's just what it is. Things are not as always important as you think they are. There's some things you can just let go of because they don't matter. I used to rush through life when I was younger. I mean, you don't think about anything else. You think, oh, geez, oh, I can't wait until I'm 18. Oh, boy, I can't wait till I'm 21. And then all of a sudden, you're not anymore. And you wonder, where did the years go? And then you think back too, what did I accomplish? What did I do in my life? Never think that way, like you did nothing. Because as you traveled through all those years, you did something. And believe me, it matters. You really did accomplish something in your life. You lived. And if you just smiled at one person or said hello to someone on the street, you might have changed their life. So you got to watch what you say sometimes. Because one bad word sometimes can turn someone's world upside down. It's not your responsibility. I understand that. But you have to stop and think on how you would react. And then you treat the next person accordingly. It's what's important. So, okay, I've rambled enough, and now I'm scaring myself. I'm going to do like lazy retired granny. I'm going to have a drink of coffee and see if I sober up. I'm not drunk, but it's getting ridiculous here. Okay, thank you. I don't get a chance sometimes to talk to too many people. And I pretty much mind my own business in the neighborhood I live in. And, you know, it makes things easier that way. But I do meet and greet people when I go to the store and say hello. You know, if I get a chance, I'll have a little conversation with them if they seem amicable. Some people kind of walk through life without wanting to participate in any kind of verbal conversation. So I think I'm going to let this hang where it is. I know it was stupid. It might have been a little heavy, and I don't mean it to be that way. Diamond painting is what brings out sometimes the best in people. I don't care what anybody says. Anything that is craft related, it's an inspiration. If you're cross stitching, you're knitting, you're diamond painting, or if you're regular painting, coloring, whatever it is, it's a craft, and it comes from inside of you to enjoy it. It's what you put down on that piece of paper or that piece of material, and you can't take that away from anybody. Some enjoy it, some don't. Some find no pleasure in it at all and can't understand why you're going to sit there all day and stick these little half beads on a dot on a piece of material. They don't get it. But see, they don't have to. If it makes you happy, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter how they feel about it. Because at the end of the day, if it works for you and takes the stress out of your life, enjoy it. Well, I'm done now. So, ladies, I'll see if I can get a video up tomorrow on a few more budget-friendly canvases. I have to dig through them and see what I can come up with. So I will see if I can get this together, get it up, loaded up, and like I said, if you don't like it, don't watch it. If you do like it, you can thumb it up. If you wish to comment, you're welcome. And if you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't, I'm good, because it's all up to the individual. So have a good day. We got to take our puppy in to get his nails cut today. He's going to scream at the vet. So have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy painting. Diamond painting crazy lady. I'm out.